YouTube, what's going on? What's going on, my peoples? Your boy Big E checking in with you. Yeah, Goddard, Kansas. And Dillon Foods, I believe it's Kroger's company. I don't know if y'all have ever been here, but it's a nice little low spot. Ain't too bad. Parking is pretty easy. But right now I'm currently getting unloaded. First of all, if you have not liked, go ahead and like, subscribe, share it out the video, put any comments, any suggestions. If you don't like it, you can dislike it too. Don't matter to me. But another thing, I shout out my homeboy Trucker J a few videos back, but he's changed the name of his channel. His new channel is Gentry Boy. So check him out on YouTube as well. Subscribe to the young fella. Like his videos. Give him some support in his channel. But I'm gonna talk to y'all today on getting your CDL. Your options for getting your CDL. Okay, so you got various different options. Most options that people talk about is going to school, whether it be going to school through the trucking company that you work for, or going to school to an independent school. You know, a lot of people have they tell you, well, go to the trucking company or go to the independent school. I believe, as far as the independent school, I really think that's, I mean, you're paying for freedom is what it boiled down to. Is you're paying for the freedom to have various different trucking companies you can start at. You know, which, you know, that's cool and good and fine. A lot of people go that route. But more than likely, if you go that route, you're going to end up having to pay it back. And, you know, I don't know if you want to pay $3,000 back, pay $1,500 back. So the route I went is I went to my company, and I got my CDL through my trucking company. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Let me turn the truck off. I should have did that before. Y'all might be able to hear me better now. Now I turn the truck off. But again, what I was saying was I went the route of getting my CDL through a trucking company. But there are some other routes you can go. Like at the time that I got my CDL, I was still employed technically by my former employer. I was getting a severance package. So in essence, I was still getting paid by them, and while I was getting my CDL. So in a way, it was good because I still had money coming in. And as you know, when you're young in the trucking game, you don't get, I mean, everybody talks about the money, but the money isn't great when you first get into it. Some companies pay pretty well, but the majority of the companies don't pay that well because they see it as a situation where they can get some free work. Whenever you go into a new field, they're not gonna pay you top dollar. So the pay was kind of a challenge at the beginning of my career. However, the con to the whole situation was that I could have had another option as far as going to an outside school, and the state of Texas would have paid for it. That's the option that a lot of people may not take or may not look into. So what happens is when you're unemployed, if you go through through unemployment, Texas Workforce Commission, they will pay for you to go to truck driving school. You know, because basically what they're doing is they saying, well, hey, if I help him get a trade, then he can start riding our dime. You know, we can get him off our books. So so they'll pay for it. Other options you also have is if you're in rural America or in small town, however you want to say it, and there's farms there or farmers out there, and they have trucks. Go to the farmer, because the farmer, he may hire you and teach you how to drive his truck. And I'm not mistaken, I don't know how it goes on specifically, but I know you don't necessarily have to have a CDL if you're driving the truck for farm use, if I'm not mistaken. But see, you stay with the farmer, you know, help him out. I mean, don't just learn how to drive a truck and then leave him drive just like that. But, you know, because, I mean, I would encourage you to at least, you know, at least work for him long enough to let him know you appreciate him for helping you get that CDL, or helping you learn, help teaching you how to drive a truck. Because some of these farms, like I said, they need a truck driver, whether it be hauling corn or grain to the grain elevators and things of that nature. It may not be, I mean, it may be a couple miles away, you know, and it's all on their property. Or you may have to drive one of the on the farm to market roads, the county roads, little small roads, to take loads back and forth. So they may be willing to hire you and teach you how to drive a truck. So that's another option that a lot of people overlook and don't inquire about. But had I stayed in rural America, you know, that would be one of the things that I may look at as far as a way to get my CDL. Now, I mean, I've documented my story on my channel several times. I didn't really, you know, have to go that route. I mean, I had a couple of options I could have done with getting my CDL other than KLLM. Now, I had already went and started driving with my dad. So my dad, he owns his own truck, and he kind of helped me learn the basics to driving trucks. So when I went to KLLM, I could already maneuver a truck fairly well for somebody just coming to school. Now, what my problem was parallel parking. I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't parallel park for nothing, and that I did learn at KLLM Academy. I did learn how to parallel park, but and then you know, I got better with my backing at KLM Academy. But my dad, in essence, kind of taught me how to drive a truck. You know, maneuvering the truck, and it was, I learned. Basically, what I did was I passed the written part myself. I just took the test and I passed it, and then I went back and I got my permit. So what I had to do was I had to pay a doctor for a DOT physical, get my permit, and then I went, like I said, and I learned from my dad. He lives over in Louisiana. I stay in Texas, so I had to go over to where he was, and we basically, I rode with him a few years, and that's how I kind of got an introductory as far as to how to drive the truck. And I mean, he just one day said, "Hey, it's time for you to learn. Let's get down here where it ain't much traffic." And we were in Arkansas, near Pine Bluff, and he said, "Hey, get over here. Let's see what you know." So that's kind of how I learned. So Um, most of your old school truck drivers, they didn't go to any school. The way they learned was similar to the way I told you. I kind of got introduced, and what I'm telling you, if you have like even a little local driver that has a truck, if you know somebody has a truck, they haul stuff short distance, just ask them. I mean, they may be willing to show you how to drive a truck. Even like if you worked out in the oil field and you wasn't a truck driver in the oil field, maybe you was a welder or maybe you was something else. I know that them cats out there, they say they learn how to drive trucks as well. So I'm sure, ask the guy that's just hauling from a short distance, and they learn how to go through the gears out there. So then all you got to do at that point is start learning how to back, but you've already figured out the hardest part that most people struggle with when they first go to school, which is going through the gears. Now, a lot of old school guys are not gonna, they don't double clutch. Some of them don't even know how to double clutch anymore, or never did it. And so that you're gonna have to figure out. See, my old man, he could double clutch, but he wasn't proficient at it because he hadn't done it in so long. He's been driving for 40 years and floating gears for 40 years. So, and if y'all don't know what floating gears is, look it up, But, and once you get in your own truck, you end up probably going that route of floating gears too. I don't know a whole lot of guys that continuously double clutch after they get their own truck unless they don't know any better. But, but those are ways, alternatives to just going to a regular school or having to pay for it. Those are some ways you can get your CDL, and like I said, not have to necessarily pay to go to school. You can go to maybe your state's workforce commission and see if they offer training and get them to pay for it. And then if they pay for a credible school, then you have options of which company you can go to work for after that. If let's just say you have to decide, well, I don't want to go to school. I'm gonna have to pay for it, because I'm currently have a job, and I don't want to do that. Then you go the route with a company. Now, I went with KLLM. A lot of people say Prime is good. I can't tell you. I know Prime, and KLLM does it too, but I didn't work on the KLLM side. I worked on the FFE side. But I know Prime, they try to kind of push that leasing down on a lot of their guys. And they may not push it to after year one, which would be good. I'm not really big on leasing. Just my thoughts about it from what's been shared with me and what I know about it. And, it's just not something that I would say you get into as soon as you come out of truck driving school. I say work company for a while and get that up under your belt. KLM pushes it too, but you can get a job. I mean, I don't know if they push it as hard as Prime, but because I didn't work on the KLM side, I went FFE, and most of the guys and gals that was on the FFE side, they were, they were company drivers. So it didn't pay as much, but what I did got me home more frequently than I would have if I would have went to the KLM side. What else can I say? What else can I say? And then the farmers and the rural work, stuff like that, that's a great way. Now I wish I could have gotten my parallel parking and all that down, or spent enough time on my dad's truck to get all that down, and then just went and took the test. But You know, if you have a driver that can put in that time and allow you to use their equipment to take the test and all that, that would be actually, in my opinion, the best way of getting it. The problem you will run into in getting it that route is, will a company, what your companies will be limited. Now, the mega carriers may not want to take you in because they like, well, how'd you get your CDL? You got your CDL. You're going to have some time. You're going to tell them you worked for somewhere for some time before they would take you. So that's why I say don't just leave the farmer or whoever teaching you how to drive a truck high and dry, because you're going to need them more than likely as your reference to letting them know you know how to maneuver and drive a truck when you try to get your next job. But again, that I think is probably the most cost efficient way of getting your CDL, I know. But I think it's the way most of the old school drivers got their CDLs anyway. They learned on the job. And if you go to a farmer or the oil field or something like that, you're learning on the job. So more than likely you've got a large area and you're not worried about crashing the truck into anything. So that's how you learn. And you know, that's the best way to learn, in my opinion. And to be able to get your CDL through that means. But again, I'm gonna conclude this video. I'm out here on Saturday pulling weight, man. We pull weight every day, bro. Pull weight every single day. You know, because we gotta make that money. You know, kids gotta eat, man. Wife like to do her thing, you know. So I gotta be able to supply, you know. But anyway, if you have not, again, subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. Trying to get my channel up and going. It's your boy Big E. We signing off from here in Goddard, Kansas. And just so you know, Goddard, Kansas is outside of Wichita. So that's the geographical area of it. I like to at least tell y'all where some of these little small cities are. But yeah, just hey man, just y'all be safe out there. You know, in the COVID situation, y'all remember to wash your hands, stay clean, protect yourself. Hey, God bless you. I'm out.